Hi, guys.
Whoa, we started again.
Welcome to week 2 of our Halloween movie reviews.
Yep, we've got an interesting lineup to say the least. It's a pretty good mix of scary and non-scary stuff. So, I think there's a couple in here for the kids.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so make sure if you haven't yet and you're watching, go ahead and subscribe to our channel to help us out. Give us a thumbs up.
Hey, look, Lord Gerald said sup, gang.
All right. So we'll try to reply to the chats as soon as we can while still talking. Thanks for the hearts. All right. So the first movie we're going to review, I took the kids to the library and I looked on the shelves and thought this movie sounded really interesting. The description sounded great.
The title sounded good, and the picture on it. I'm a judge a book by its cover kind of with when it comes to movies. And I thought, okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, this one failed us. Majorly failed us.
So what's our next movie?
So this movie is titled Phobias. It's from 2021. You go ahead and describe the movie.
Okay, so the buildup was rather interesting, and I thought, okay, this is kind of a little mysterious. You got this guy who's at a gas station just purchasing some things, and he has an encounter with a gang outside, and they didn't like him just because he was Asian, and then they attacked him. It was a bit, and then he went, and then the guy was able to get up. They didn't kill him, and then he went to go help out his dad, and they just lived in this apartment. And so I kind of thought that the story was going to revolve strictly around these two guys, and then it showed some B movie special effects. It was really bad, and then I thought, oh no, this is not a good sign. And then in comes another story. You're introduced to, I think, to 3 to 4 other stories, and all of them are there's not much content to them. The acting, I will say, was really terrible, and the story that they put together for this movie wasn't that great either. And so the entertainment value was really
bad.
low.
The graphics were just, I think, the worst we've seen in a very, very long time. Those of you who followed us last year, we watched a movie called Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrible. This one might be worse than that one was in our ranking. It was pretty bad.
I will even compare it to what would look like perhaps some bad acting, bad special effects, and a B horror movie, but it's a cult classic. That's Evil Dead from the 70s, I believe, and it is way better than this movie. I think when they threw this together, they tried too hard, and it didn't work out.
It sure did not. So, Phobias from 2021. We absolutely do not recommend. We give thumbs down to this movie. I don't even, do we even want to rate? I mean, what would you rate it?
Half.
Less than 1 out of 10.
A half out of 11.
Okay, so that's Phobias. Our next movie on our list is
Something's wrong with Lord Gerald. He's spazzing.
Is Monster Family. So like we said, we had some kid movies included in this, and our daughters love the kid monster movies. So this was one that they wanted to make sure they saw this year. So we watched it with them. Basically what this movie is about, it's about a family of 4 who kind of were disconnected. They, I wouldn't say they weren't a functional family, but they were kind of doing their own separate things.
That's a good way to
And
put it.
This witch came into town and cast a curse on them that turned them into monsters. So
Dracula liked the mom and saw that the mom was unfulfilled. She looked really sad, so he wanted to make her happy.
Yeah, so he tried to get with mom, and basically the four of them kind of go on their own separate adventures while they're monsters because they're different types of monsters. So they related to different characters. But what they ended up coming to a conclusion with at the end was that they were a family for a reason and they completed each other. So they needed to be with each other, and that their family unit was more important than any of the other things.
So it was nice that that story came around full circle because the beginning of the movie, not the very beginning, I really liked the very beginning with the two bats playing Toccata and Fugue
Those two bats
by
were cute.
Bach. It was funny, and but what was really annoying was the loser dad. I mean, it could not have made him any worse.
Yeah, they did shine a poor picture on that dad.
Yeah, but in the end, I guess I'm glad I came around full circle. Yeah,
Yeah,
entertaining
it was good. I would rate this movie a 6 out of 10 for a kid's Halloween movie.
for kids. I'm probably there with y'all, so I'll give it a 6
All right.
for an average of 6.5. Right?
No. Okay, so the next movie we watched was right now.
Lord Jadrelda
Oh
disagrees.
man. Okay, so the next movie that was recommended to us by our friend Jen is Old from 2021. Take it away.
Now this is by M. Night Shyamalan, and I think he's one of those writers that there's no middle ground. There's a lot of people that like his style, and then there's people that just are not a fan. And I read online that some people were not a fan of his past couple of movies. I'm not sure which ones those were, but generally speaking, I do like the way he tells his stories and the way they use the camera and include just partial, what do you call it, partial shots of the characters, and you don't always see what's going on, but he leads you on to into certain assumptions. And I really like the way the story was told. There was a lot of mystery to it. I thought the acting was pretty good. I think some people disagreed with that, but I mean, to each their own. But I was entertained by the whole thing, and I always like how he has this mysterious aspect to a lot of to his audience, and you don't find out much of anything until later on in the story. So I want to say one of the funniest parts when they figure out that they're getting older at a really fast pace is that there were two little kids. I think might have been 11 and something, and when they were talking, and then a situation arises, calling everybody to one spot, and then the boy and girl emerge, and she is clearly pregnant, and then she says, "Oh, we were just playing, and I got a little fat."
Not only was she just pregnant, she was 9 months pregnant, and within a minute
Gave
had
birth.
had the baby. So it was interesting. It definitely had a lot of intrigue to it. It kept you wondering, where are they going with this movie? What is coming next? What are they gonna? How are they gonna get out of this? How is this even happening? How is this stuff happening? And what you find is there's a secret agency kind of in the background running these scientific experiments on these people who are terminally dying. So these people had these terminal illnesses anyway, so they figured they would play with them with the science of this technology they were working on to see if they could um, get rid of the disease or slow the disease by their
Yep.
medications. And the way that they were able to test that within a short time period was by aging these people fast. But one of the girls that had epilepsy, and I think she had something else going on too that was terminal. They tested this drug on her, and how they tested it was they slipped it into drinks that they gave them as they
Yep.
showed up at the facility.
It's a vacation spot.
Yeah, so they thought
Dressed
they
as
were
a
going
vacation
there
spot.
and booked this beautiful vacation, and that's how they had it all set up. And so these people are getting this idea that they're going to this great vacation spot, and they end up dying while they're there and never leaving. But yeah, it was interesting. I would say give it a watch. I think it was intriguing enough to take a look at it. And
Yep.
I like his movies. I think that they're clever and they have a mystery to them and they keep your attention. You want to keep watching.
I like the reveal of what the hotel's intent was. It's essentially justifying their use of human drug trials
Yeah.
to find these cures, and I thought that they were doing good. It's and ends was the where the ends justify the means that people are always battling with. You know, should we or should we not? But
Right.
Malcolm from Jurassic Park will say
Yeah.
otherwise.
Okay. So what would you rate this movie out of 10?
I'll give it an 8. I liked it.
Okay.
I like his style of storytelling.
I gave it about a 7. I'd say it's about a 7 out of 10. So definitely worth a shot watching.
All right, we got a Lord that
Some other comments on there
didn't
too.
even see it. Thanks, Bill.
Interesting movie, enough to watch the whole thing. I think so. I think it
Yep.
was definitely worth a watch. All right, the next one on our list is The Babysitter, recommended to us by Tina. So this one was interesting. It started out with this 12-year-old boy who still had a babysitter, the only one of his friends still with a babysitter. And not only was she a babysitter, she was the most beautiful babysitter on the planet. So his friends, instead of making fun of him for having a babysitter, were jealous of him because she was so amazingly beautiful. But she ended up being a Satan worshiper in a cult and was there babysitting him to do these rituals where they needed the blood of the innocent.
Yeah, the movie was pretty vulgar, and there was a lot of young kids saying all this. I wasn't a fan. I know that's kind of a reality, but still, so I just kind of put that aside. And thought, well, okay. But also, okay, so you see the chemistry between the two, between I forgot his name, the babysat and the babysitter, and they were buddy, and he liked her, and then you got this spin the bottle game going on downstairs where the kid is supposed to be asleep, and then all of a sudden they're
Yeah, so it looked like it was a set of friends that were playing this game together,
Yeah.
and then and you'd see in the scene before that the babysitter had been talking to this one guy that seemed like a total nerd, just not somebody she would be attracted to, but she was kind of flirty with him, and they left a store together, and so it kind of flashes to them being together and her inviting him over for this game night. And so they're playing this game. They play the spin the bottle, and exactly what he just did.
And the
She
guy
takes
got
these
bunny
giant
ears.
knives and sticks them into his head.
Yeah, kebab,
and
human kebab.
and so they were supposed to, I don't know, drink his blood for this ritual.
Yeah,
or
they
something.
needed weird things. They were doing some weird things, and then
Yeah, so it ended up splashing everywhere, and they're all covered in this kid's blood. And
then they were gonna go up to get, I forget his name. I'm gonna call
Cole.
him the babysat.
I just looked it up.
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah, they were gonna get. So he was supposed to be sleeping, and then so he was trying to escape during all this, and then they were gonna try to get his blood with a syringe. And earlier in the movie, it shows him deathly afraid of syringes, and so he sat there and pretended to sleep while they took his blood. So a little bravery there. But anyway, this kind of reminded me of Ash versus Evil Dead series that's on Netflix, I think, simply because of the amount of blood that
It
is
was
just
a lot of blood.
splattered everywhere.
A lot
in
of gore.
in an over the top way, and there was a lot of comedy in it. Comedy similar to what's that Zombieland movie? It's funny, it's gory, something like that.
You kept referring to last year we had reviewed a movie. What was it? Tucker and
Oh, yeah,
Dale and Tucker or
versus Evil.
Yeah. So that movie was just comedic slasher. Just everyone's dying, and it's for the most random reason. So when this started, the babysitter was intentionally killing, but the other people, the other bad guys or people that were part of her satanic cult just kept dying for the oddest reasons. And I mean, horrible
Yeah.
deaths, like
Very much like Dale and Tucker.
being, I mean, had stuff through their bodies, impaled,
The
and
girl got shot in the boob.
shot in the and bleeding out, and
it wasn't even directly shot. I think it was ricochet.
It was just ridiculous. We kept saying, "Oh my word, here's a replay of Tucker and Dale versus Evil." It was just kind of a lot of Final Destination type deaths for sure.
Balls.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Hold on.
What?
Rick. What is Rick Grold?
No. Okay. So as if we didn't have enough of it, we went ahead and watched the second one, The Babysitter Killer Queen. So we had
what we give the first one.
I figured we'd just do a combined
Okay.
So what would you rate the first one then?
6 3/4. It was entertaining. Now they were really creative with the death scenes, and they were really creative with the comedic elements of the film.
Yeah,
that made it funny.
It was funny. And if I'm gonna watch a Thrasher, let's be honest, I'd rather it be a comedy Thrasher.
Yeah,
because I'm not really one for senseless killing movies. They're just kind of dumb and pointless to me. I like movies that have more of a plot and more of a storyline that
more purpose
catches you. Yeah, these kind of movies to me just seem like senseless death. But as funny as it was okay. I guess I would give this one a 6. I would give this one a 6 out of 10. And then we watched the second one, Killer Queens.
So at first you start with the guy and the girl that kind of became closer at the end of the first one. And you thought, okay, a new relationship is starting here. And then slowly you're introduced to all of the old killers, the old cult from the first one. And I think they were brought on in a creative manner also. But I actually thought this one was better than the first one because I think it was funnier. I think the story was a little bit more interesting. Again, I think it was the way they delivered everything
for sure
was just overall better.
Yeah, definitely. By the time I bumped the camera. By the time it was over, we said, man, we definitely enjoyed the second one a whole lot more than the first one. The thing was, you thought in the first one that the babysitter dies, or it leads you to believe that she dies because she's literally run over by his car that goes through the house. So you're under the assumption that she's dead, right?
Yeah.
Well, and all of her lackeys also graphically died. Well, in the second one, they're all magically back. They get revived. Well, you see at the end that I don't know, they came out of some weird cocoons or something.
I for whatever reason, I can't remember how they came to be again.
But it was some sort of, they get a second chance. They get a second chance, but they only had a short amount of time. Like, what was it, 24 hours or something like that?
It was really short, almost overnight.
And, and they had to fulfill this whatever and get his blood again, get the blood of the innocent. In order for them to come back and be alive again.
I like the guy without the shirt. Everybody kept asking.
He's shirtless through both movies, just constantly shirtless. And at one point it showed him working at a job and his badge was stuck to his shirtless chest. It was stuck right onto his body. So at the end,
Butterfly thinks it's
Cole,
better too.
Yeah. So Cole, the main character kid, he finds this other girl who you find out was also a victim of this cult. And they had done the similar type of rituals to her years before when the babysitter was her babysitter.
That's
as a child.
It was Jenna Ortega's.
Yeah. So the two of them end up hooking up and working together to again kill off the cult member lackeys. And then they end up having relations in the movie. You don't see it, but you find out at the end because they take Cole's blood, the blood of the innocent, and they drink it and they turn to dust. So you find he wasn't so innocent anymore. And so their ritual didn't work because they thought for sure he would never get a girl. He would never, be impure. But you find out kind of the destructive way that he was.
It's funny how the dad was just accepting of all of it. He seemed to be the dad that wanted to be his kid's friend.
Yeah, kind of clueless.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Um,
So what would you rate this one, or did you have more to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I think I'm glad it ended up the way it did with the second one, because you see that there was a little bit of goodness, if that's what you want to call it, with the original babysitter,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
because there was always that friendship there between Cole and whatever her name was. So that kind of wrapped things up nicely, and then later realized that there's a third one, but we haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, I can't find it to view anywhere, so I'm not sure if it's still in production or if it never really got released yet, or what the deal is. So if and when we're able to watch that one, we will. You'll see that pop up on our reviews probably next year around this time.
I'll give it a 7, because I think I would probably watch it again just for kicks. It was a silly movie.
Our son says, "Never get me a babysitter again." I think you've aged out of that one, kid. All right. So our next one, the next couple are actually kid-friendly ones. The next one is, sorry, is Disney Zombies. So there's actually 3 of them: Zombies 1, 2, and 3.
No, we saw that at Six Flags. It was terrible. Where all the zombies came out and they sang and danced like a Disney production.
So this is
Fright
a
Fest,
Disney
lame.
production. Okay. All right. So back to the movies.
Oh yeah.
So Zombies is basically about, it boils down to this girl who just can't seem to fit in no matter what. She goes to this high school. She wants to be a cheerleader. She fights to make it onto the cheerleading squad, and still just doesn't feel. I was hoping Fright Fest was going to be cool.
It's been better in the past.
So if you go daytime, it's set up for kids. It's not scary. Nighttime, it's supposed to be more scary.
You can pay for a necklace if you don't want to be scared also. The actors won't mess with you.
So, I mean, you might still enjoy it. Just make sure you go at night if you want to get the fright part of it. Otherwise, daytime, it's kind of just...
The decorations and lighting are cool at night. I'll say that.
Okay. All right, so back to Zombies. So this high school girl, she makes the cheer squad. Her cousin's kind of the head of the cheer squad, and she still just doesn't. She gets on it and she's excited, but she still just feels like she hasn't found her place in the world. Well, the next town over is Zombieland or Zombie Town, or I forget the name of it, but it's just a town full of zombies. And they're not accepted. They're not allowed to go to the school. Well, she ends up fighting to get them accepted and go to the school. So now these zombies are going to school with these regular kids and trying to be accepted and trying to be a part of everything.
Good idea, bad idea.
Right. And then between the movies, I want to say it's the second one that you see the werewolf clan.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you see a little bit of it in the first one. They
really
all kind
weird.
of flow together because we watched all 3 of them kind of back to back. But, so then there's another clan of werewolf kids that find their way to the school, and now the school has accepted these zombies. So now the school feels like they need to accept these werewolves too. But
Michael J. Fox,
the zombies and the regular kids aren't sure how this is all going to mix when there's more monsters than there is regular people, and they end up fighting to help each other and realize that they're better together and that they can work with things together. Then you get to movie 3 and they pull in the aliens.
I mean,
so
3?
now
Oh,
there's third one.
so bad.
These weird, the aliens put a weird dimension to the movie. I don't know. I
could have left the aliens out.
Yeah, it was just weird. But anyway, these aliens come and they do this cheer off competition thing, and the aliens compete in that. But what they're really there for is this thing that's hidden, and the main girl realizes that the thing that's hidden was in this cheerleading competition cup. So they get the cup and the aliens get it, and it's revealed to her that her grandmother was one of the head aliens. So she realizes, oh, I'm an alien. This is where I belong. This is who I
Yeah, she
am.
didn't
So
know, did she?
no, so she thought at first maybe she was a werewolf because she had white hair and they had white streak in their hair, and she kind of felt more comfortable around them, but it wasn't them. And then she finds out that she's half alien. So her mom is an alien. She never knew. And she had been hiding her white hair from the world and wore a blonde wig. So then now she realized who she was, and she decides that maybe she wants to go with the aliens, and but she doesn't want to leave her zombie boyfriend. By the way, she ends up dating one of the zombies who's trying to get into college, and their plan was to go to the same college together. Anyway, so it was kind of a
Weird.
weird combination movie.
You finish each other's sentences.
My girls love it. They want to watch it year round. So as far as a kid's opinion goes, my kids are 5 and 8, they love it and they'll watch it. I think it's the song and dance and just the whole monsters and people combination thing that's really attractive to them. And
It's very Disney.
it's very
A
Disney.
lot of singing.
And it's clean. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't scenes that we felt like, oh, maybe our 5-year-old shouldn't be watching. It was a pretty clean movie. So if you're looking for a clean, musical, typical Disney style live action movie, this one's not a bad choice.
Yeah, they're not
the third one. I don't know. 1 and 2 are good. I would say the world would survive without the third one. It's not great. But the first 2 are really good.
And the zombies, they're not scary. They're Disney zombies. It's just green makeup.
They're green and they're rubbery, like they bounce and just weird things. You do see a part where they wear these bracelets to contain their aggression. So at certain points you see the bracelets either malfunctioning or they're taking the bracelets off so that they can be aggressive for whatever reason. The one zombie boyfriend does that so that he can be this superstar at football. So he malfunctions his watch so that he can be aggressive and play harder with football. And you see just equipment flying through the air because his power is too great. But he finds out in the movie that he himself can wield his power and kind of control it a little bit. So that was kind of neat.
It would be funny if they, instead of a Disney made up zombie, if it was a Walking Dead kind of zombie that spoke coherently. That would be kind of funny, but then it wouldn't be kid friendly.
Not kid friendly.
It'd be too scary.
Right. So this one did well with having that intrigue element and still being kid friendly. So I would probably overall, for a Disney kid friendly Halloween-ish show, I would give it a 7.
I'll give it a 5 for the kids.
Oh, sad. Sad. Okay. And then the last one, also a kid-friendly one. It's called Liar, Liar, Vampire from 2015. This one we actually just watched today. And it's about this boy who is from another place and he moves to this town. And stop. Too many. And he moves to this new town and he's trying to fit in this school. Well, like a typical high school, the new kid never fits in. And to this new town and he's trying to fit in this school. Well, like a typical high school, the new kid never fits in. And he's just having a hard time. He's just kind of nerdy and just kind of does stuff to set himself up to get made fun of. And so, of course, the jocks make fun of him every chance that they get. And I don't even know how to explain it. Somehow he ends up getting wrapped up in this poster of glitter and had glitter all over him.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
And the sunlight was shining on him and this girl sees him and thinks, oh, like Twilight movie, right?
Oh.
he's shiny with all this glitter all over him. So he must be something supernatural. He must be a zombie. Well, then she had her locker open and she had her mirror in her locker and it shows on him. And then she looks away for a second. He ducks down to pick something up. She looks back into the mirror and doesn't see him and then turns around and he's there. He had stood up. So she thinks he has no reflection.
It's a mystery.
He's got to be a zombie. So
a vampire?
I mean, a vampire. Sorry,
yeah.
I got zombies on
Too
the
many
brain.
monsters.
So she's kind of one of the gossips of the school. So she runs the gossip paper for the school. So she starts running with it, saying, "Oh, our school has this." It is always the jocks, isn't it? So her school newspaper. So she's running this thing, writing a column about, oh, we have our very own vampire at the school, and she's going with it. Well, the guy's friend says, "Hey, let's mess with her. Let's make it look 100% legit. Let's make you look like a for real vampire. Let's do all of these things." So she shows him this list of things you would see from a vampire. And so they start acting out through this list. She gets him fake teeth. He puts in these fake teeth and wears them all the time. He puts in these contacts because vampires' eyes change colors, right? So think Twilight movie. And then this is what they're trying to replicate is all of these things. Yeah. And, he's floating across the floor rather than walking. And so they're simulating all of these things to make him look like a legitimate vampire. The girl pretends like she's falling for him and wants to get involved with him, the gossip girl. And they end up winning. Was it prom or homecoming? One or the other, Something king and queen. That. So then the girl that had been helping him the whole time was kind of getting upset because he seemed like he was kind of falling for this jock girl, right? That's doing all the gossip. And so she's kind of getting upset, and this is the scene where he messes up. He has this fake blood or ketchup packet, and he pretends to bite her. Well, she says, "I didn't feel anything," right? So they realize it was all a hoax. And so he has to confess that the whole thing was just a big lie. It was just a big joke. And now everybody's back to hating him again. And he's even more of an outcast than he was before. Well, this other kid who is also an outcast in the school wanted the school to know how much of a fake the gossip girl was.
Time to expose.
Yeah. So he sends this footage that exposes her dirty side to the vampire kid, and he ends up airing it in this big Halloween carnival thing that they were
set up
putting
with a
on.
Big screen.
Yeah, so it ends up exposing her negative. So they kind of got the revenge with her. She is now seen for who she really is, and she's put down, and she was making fun of even the jocks who she was supposed to be friends with. And so then now they are against her. And so the vampire kid, tries to make it right in the end. Hey, we all have our faults. Hey, we all have these things that we do, all the mistakes that we make, but we need to just try to keep peace. And
then there was that one guy who really thought he still was a vampire.
Yes.
He wanted to challenge him.
So the main jock kid hired his uncle, I think was who it was, who was thought to be a vampire hunter. So he hires him, and he just ended up being kind of a loony bird. he goes after this kid. So he's trying to catch this kid as a true vampire. And
yep, he believed him.
Yeah. So he was a little crazy. He was kind of the crazy relative in the movie, right? So.
And the funny part was that, how there's only one way to kill the vampire, and it was with the staring game.
Yeah.
So that was, I haven't heard that one. I was expecting garlic or a steak.
Staring him down. It's just really silly.
It was pretty silly.
So, I mean, it was interesting movie. Not my favorite, but I don't know. Our girls like it. What would you rate this one?
It's fun to see them entertained.
Yeah.
What would I rate it? What would the kids rate it?
The kids would rate it probably a 7 or an 8, I would say.
I'd probably give it a 3.
Yeah, I
But then
mean, it's entertaining and it's got a decent storyline. So I would probably go out on a limb and give it a 5.5 or a 6. It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Did we make it through our list?
We did. So that is the movies that we went through this week. We had kind of a busy week, so we didn't get through as many as we were hoping to. Maybe this coming week we'll get through a few more for you. We have quite a running list of suggestions from you all. So keep them coming. If you've got more you'd want to suggest to us, do that, because some of them we may not be able to get access to watch them. But keep adding to the list. Definitely subscribe to our channel. Give us a like.
Smash it.
Smash it.
The like button.
Yeah, that. Okay.
If anybody's getting possessed, I want to see it.
Yeah, that's his type. He likes the possession movies. I like the ones that you can relate to real life kind of thing. Like Amityville Horror was good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of scary and you could kind of see those kind of things happening. So those are the kind of movies that I really like. So if you've got a good list of those, throw them our way. We'd love to give them a look.
There you go. Thanks for the suggestion, Bill.
30 Days of Nights. All right. We'll add it to the list. Cool. Okay. So check us out on Tuesday morning, our regular goes live. What is
regular podcast
episode?
Our regular episode.
Mind freeze. But our podcast episode goes live, and we're going to be reviewing The Nightmare Before Christmas. So you got a sneak peek of what we're going to be reviewing. It is a classic, and so we'll tell you what we think about it then. So definitely check it out. Jump on our YouTube channel and give our short and our full length a view. We would love it. Coraline is on our list.
I want to talk about Coraline.
Well,
that's a good one.
We'll review that one next week. So come back next Sunday at 9:30 and Coraline will be on our list.
All right, Butterfly, give us your favorite sci-fi horror movies.
All right, give us some suggestions. We'd love to.
Like Event Horizon. That's a good one.
All right. I don't know if I've seen that one, so we might
should.
Okay. We'll have to watch that one. But yeah, definitely comment with any additional movies that we can add to our list. We would love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you and tell your friends about us. We'd love to see some more tuning in next Sunday.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Check you later.
Hey, somebody